Shocker, we had Peter Chiarelli on. What did you make of his comments? He was pretty honest about his assessment of his blue line. He said, "Hey, we had a lot of young defensemen last year," which is true. He said
Yep.
the only difference is now they're all a year older, but we don't have Sekera, so he'll be watching a little more closely, which leads me to believe. Like I know Chris Kelly's here, and he could technically still skate with the Oilers and not sign a contract, but I don't think there's any chance they sign him because I think if anything, if Peter Chiarelli's looking for an opening of a waiver wire or something, it's going to be for a D-man, right?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. I don't know how much he's scouring looking for that at this point. But, we'll start with the comment about the defense. My read on the D is this, and I asked Todd McClellan this question today. I don't think Matt Benning has been good enough in the spot he's been given. And so I think they're a little bit leery of what's going on there. So McClellan kind of deflected the question a little bit and said it's not just on Matt Benning to replace Andrej Sekera and it's a team and this and that. He gave the politically correct answer. What it all adds up to, in my opinion, is they know Benning hasn't been good enough in that spot and they're worried. Russell has been very good in my opinion. Benning has not. And so they're looking at it feeling a little bit unsure about that second pairing. And in Chiarelli's answer to you, he kind of unsolicited made mention of the fact that Darnell Nurse could also play up if he has to, which we know. So one of the big questions heading into camp was whether Benning was going to be able to solidify that spot on the second pairing, and so far he hasn't. But I don't know that Nurse has been so sensational that he's forced their hand to move Benning yet. And all of that adds up to, I think they're a little bit unsure on their blue line and watching it very closely. And Nurse and Benning, to me, are the two guys and the reason why.
All right, so let's say if we all agree that maybe they could use some help. What is the price they're willing to pay if they decide they want some help in that spot? Are they willing to make a bold move and trade a first rounder, or do they try to just as Gregor talked about, fish through the waiver wire? Or, what do you think is the price you're willing to pay to upgrade that spot?
Well, I don't. Now I could be out to lunch here, guys. I don't think they're looking to upgrade that spot in the here and now. I think that they're cautiously going to start the season with what they have and keep an eye on it. If all of a sudden they realize, oh boy, we have no second pairing defenseman and Sekera's not due back till insert date here, then all of a sudden they have to start thinking about making a move, like a legitimate move. Now, is there ever going to be a guy on waivers who's going to fill in that spot better? Probably not. To your point, Struds, what are you willing to give up? I mean, they're in a really tough spot, you guys, because I think both Nurse and Benning have the potential to develop into that and to develop into that player this year. They might have to just be patient and let it happen. I don't know that you hit the panic button and run out and get somebody to play ahead of both of those guys. And then Sekera comes back, and now what? So I think we might be getting a little too far down the path.
Like, Shocker, this is what I think. I think that they know when Sekera is going to be back. I don't buy this. Well,
right.
It's X this or X that this number of months. I remember being on teams where guys had injuries and they said within a couple of weeks or a month,
right,
this is when he'll be back. So I think they know when he'll be back, and they might have to tread water. They might know that, and not that these guys aren't going to be able to hold it, but maybe not just at the level in their careers right now where Andrej Sekera is. So I'm more thinking, what? Yeah, it might hurt you a little bit here and there, but you're going to get some reinforcements back in a guy, and you'll be fine. The problem is if you have a significant injury to Russell or the two Swedes, that's when things really can get off the rail. And a start that is you're hoping for whatever, X number of points in the first 20 games, it can go off those rails quickly. Now you're playing catch up for the next 60.
Right, and I think if there's another severe, significant injury on the blue line where a guy in their top four is going to be out for months, now you're looking at insulating because they're in their cup window, and it's too important a year to let weakness on the blue line water them down to the point where they can't be given. So it just by then you evaluate. Okay, how's Nurse playing? How's Benning playing? When Sekera's timeline now, Russell or Clefbaum or whoever's out. I think they tread water. I think I agree with you. They know when Sekera is coming back. I don't think they're hitting the panic button. I think they're watching Benning closely and kind of thinking, okay, bit of a sluggish start. He's going to need to show more to stay there. If he's going to be the defenseman that's going to pick up the extra 5, 6, 7 minutes a night and play as a second pairing guy, he's going to have to pick up his socks a little bit, which it's fine. I'm not writing him off. He might be just fine. But I think they're cautiously watching it and waiting for it to fall into place because so far he has not grabbed that spot. And really, in a lot of ways, you guys, players not taking advantage of incredible opportunity is a huge storyline in this Oilers training camp this year, in my opinion.
Are you talking about something on the right wing up front?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, listen, there were 4 players in camp competing for 2 skilled right wing positions, right? You had Strome, who was in the catbird seat to begin with. He had the great spot to start with. You had Puljujarvi, spot to lose coming into camp as far as I was concerned. You had Drake Caggiula, going to get a look on his off wing, but really they felt like he was ready to take that on, and they liked what they saw in the playoffs. And then you had this absolute flyer in Kailer Yamamoto. The 3 of those other guys were basically heading into camp probably in a 3-way battle for those 2 spots with Slepyshev hurt. And Yamamoto beat them all. I want to call this for what it is. The kid outplayed all of them. None of those 3, Strome included, did enough to grab either one of those first 2 right wing spots. They were all outplayed by him, and it's forced McClellan's hand to push Draisaitl back to the wing because none of those guys grabbed it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that changes or not. None of them might have grabbed it. I don't know if any of them totally played their way off the team or anything like that.
Oh, no. Yeah, you got to keep it in perspective. Like, we're talking about the here and now. Opening night, why is he doing what he's doing? And that's what I see, why he's doing what he's doing. None of those guys have grabbed it in the here and now. And Todd even said it's a long season and guys are going to play with different guys and they're going to move guys around. But, I mean, Struds, it's an open competition. Everybody knows that they're competing for which spots. You want to play with Draisaitl or you want to play with McDavid? Those are the point spots. Those guys were all competing for those spots, and nobody got it.
You know, I can give a story. When my first time I actually played a full year in the NHL, I went to training camp, and Mike Keenan, I knew he wanted someone that was going to get out there and fight. So I was competing with 2 other guys, 2 other D-men, and one guy definitely way tougher than me. But in those 6 games I played, I think I had 6 fights. I was like, and there was no way I was going to let that opportunity go by. And at the end of the thing, Mike said you were very competitive and basically said you fight like crazy, and that's how I made the team. And when I watched an opportunity like these guys were offered, because they all got a time to dance with the big boys, you've got to deliver and you've got to bring your best. And I know it's exhibition. I know some of them are veterans, but to me, that doesn't make a difference. You have to push it so there's no doubt. The coach has to play in that spot. And that's what I think Yamamoto did. He just forced their hand. Like, we can't not play this guy. It doesn't matter for 82. We're talking about game 1 here. And that's what I think missed the opportunity for these guys as you described.
What do you guys make of the fact that Yamamoto's points all came before he played with McDavid?
All his points came before he played with McDavid.
Yeah, like on the top 2 lines, right? Like his points came when he wasn't playing with Nuge and Lucic or McDavid in that game in Winnipeg. I know it's only 2 games, but does that concern you at all? Like his points all came in the first few preseason games.
No, I mean, for me, like the points have been great. One of his goals was an empty netter. To me, it's about, production is important for a skill position like that. But to me, when you watch him play, he made the team with his poise with the puck. He made the team with his battle level and his compete level, his not giving up. He made the team with his versatility, can kill penalties for the head coach. He made the team by making the head coach feel confident, putting him on the ice in a number of different situations. And then on top of it, he's buried his opportunities as they've come and been opportunistic. So I'm not concerned. I think he's right where he should be right now based on what they have. And if things ratchet up a notch and he gets left behind a little bit, then so be it. That's perfectly okay. But he's earned everything he's been given so far, and he's right where he should be in my mind, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for me, it's a competitiveness. I've liked the way he's competed and got in on the forecheck like that. I did not expect that from him. And for me, that's something I've really enjoyed his development. And, he's got some skills. He's going to make points, but I don't think it's necessarily all he's here to do. I don't think you have to pound on him for a point a game. But I want to go back to this Chris Kelly situation, guys. You kind of skipped over me a bit, but My question is this for you, and you guys tend to do that, but
I asked the question to both of you. You didn't answer.
Well, you asked two questions at once.
Right.
You asked me about the D and about Chris Kelly. Anyway, go ahead. Sir.
Yeah. That's how exactly how. We'll have to play back and look at it. But my question is this to you, Rishaug: if you don't think there's a chance, or if people don't think there's a chance that Chris Kelly signs with the Oilers, why is he still practicing with the team? Because, quite frankly, if it's not like he was a great Oiler and here for a long time, you're like, oh, we're gonna help this guy out. He'll get a try out to someone else. If I had no intention, I'd be like, thanks a lot, Kelly. See you later. We don't need you part of this dynamic anymore because, quite frankly, you weren't part of it before.
Well, and Greg's like, I heard when you asked Chiarelli that, and you can really tell by his response how respectful Peter Chiarelli is trying to be of Chris Kelly. Like, you can really tell in the way he crafted that response. Their decision is made. Their mind is made up, in my opinion. He just wasn't prepared to announce that to you on your show here today. So he was very careful about what he said, how it's too early to sort of make that final determination. They've had real upfront conversations with him. I think for whatever reason, there's a deep loyalty between Peter Chiarelli and this player, and we see it all the time. And so Chiarelli brought him in where there wasn't opportunity for him elsewhere. They showcased him. He put in some valuable games for them in a busy exhibition schedule where you need veteran players that can go in. He allows them to practice an extra full line with the main group right now, so they're not having two extras having to sub in on the fourth line. They roll 5 lines at practice. And I think I just don't think there's another great opportunity out there for Chris Kelly right now. And Peter Chiarelli is finding ways to have him be useful. So I'm not as offended by it, Struds. I think there's a loyalty between this GM and this player. It's not costing them anything. It's giving them continuity in practice. They run into a bad injury at any point in exhibition season, they'll be glad they have him. So I am not as offended by the way they've done it, as long as they've been upfront with the player from the beginning, which is you're in a real uphill battle, and this is more about helping to showcase you.
Shogger, we're going to talk projections tomorrow on the show, so come prepared. We'll talk to you then.
Okay, sounds good, man. See ya.